Spider-Man, Reign 2, Issue 2. This is a variant cover. Lots of variant covers on this series. I don't even know who the artist is. I'm not really that interested in it. I mean, not that it's a bad cover or anything. I think it looks great. Definitely has a kind of Dark Knight Returns reference vibe, but I've talked about this last issue's review for issue 1. Spider-Man Reign 2 and Reign 1 show lots of elements and inspiration or swipes, I guess, depending on your point of view, from the original Dark Knight Returns series and Dark Knight 2 as well. Dark Knight Strikes Back Again, is that what it's called? Anyways, we'll just call it DK2. So lots of references to that for sure in this series already, and this cover does kind of a visual cue to that as well, I think. I usually like, when I collect these series, to get the cover by the artist who actually produced the issue, in this case KAARE Andrews. Wasn't able to for this issue, unfortunately, so not the end of the world. I still want to get that issue and read it and then have it reviewed here on the channel. So let's open her up and have a look inside. Title page, KAARE Andrews, writer and artist. Brian Reber is the color artist. KAARE Andrews is the cover artist, not of the cover that we saw, obviously. And VC's Joe Caramagna is the letterer. And I'll leave it at that. So Mirko Andolfo and Scan are the variant cover artists. So I don't know who we got on the cover here, but maybe someone could tell me in the comments if this is Mirko Andolfo on the cover or Scan. Spider-Man created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. But let's be honest, mostly Steve Ditko, with a little bit of a starting point with some Jack Kirby stuff. Do a little deep diving on the internet. It's not that hard to find if you're curious about that. So, where are we? Well, future kind of Dark Knight Spider-Man, Old Man Spider-Man is basically what we're calling him, I guess. People in the comic have actually kind of called him that. He's got the beard, right? He's basically kind of dressed like a hobo. He's got his leftover in the Matrix underwear on, and just random trench coat that he's found, to cover up his little spider bits. And he's got the spider mask just pulled on top, but not, over the luscious thick beard that he has. I guess it would be impossible. It just won't stretch that much, and that's kind of his look in the series. So they've actually come back from the past, from the future into the past, and they're in the 90s now. So I've talked about last issue how there's kind of a McFarlane influence running through the art in last issue, and definitely continues in this issue as well. I definitely welcome it, because KAARE Andrews does it in a way where I don't feel like he's copying McFarlane. He's still kind of, doing his own layouts and stuff. He's just throwing in a few aesthetic kind of hints to McFarlane here and there, and he's not doing it everywhere, right? And it's subtle enough where when he does it, it still blends in really well with the artwork, and isn't too distracting. But if you know, and again, it'll be pretty obvious when we get to it, but I'll point out some good examples of it. I do want to commend the colorist as well. I do like what he's doing here. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera, but there's spots where he uses kind of a dot pattern, like old school comics, right? The background here, there's some. It's all over. Pretty much every panel has at least a little bit of it. We even got it on our skin tone here. And I think it looks pretty cool. Sometimes some of the colors get a little too dark and muddled. Maybe that's a little bit of that going on here in this panel. When you do vast dark spaces and silhouettes, maybe it's nice to have much lighter colors to contrast it, and maybe we don't have that so much here. Like this is his knees. These are his knees and his legs. I feel like that should be colored, maybe a lighter skin tone, so it's a little more obvious. I was wondering if maybe he's got pants all of a sudden. Just very odd, the coloring in some instances. And basically what this is, he realizes he's back in the 90s. MJ's alive, and he's just looking for Mary Jane right away, and he's just frantic about it and going crazy. So goes to the old apartment. She's not there, neither is Peter Parker, right? Obviously. Where is she? You've got the wrong apartment, Spider Old Man. Kind of funny that a guy being attacked by a guy who looks like this would make a joke, but it's a comic book. I thought that was funny. And two classic Spider-Man villains just show up and kill the guy, right? And you got the Vulture and Beetle. Is it literally just the Beetle? Think so. And here's where, like I said, the colors, I don't think it's the art itself by KAARE Andrews. I think it's the colors that kind of muddy up the look of the comic when we get to like a page like this. Not down here. That's very cool, very effective, very cartoony, right? Here we've got, I would definitely describe this as a McFarlane inspired close-up mouth in profile, right? Definitely something McFarlane about that. Maybe some of the vulture posing and the cartooniness here. It's like it's got that maybe McFarlane, but also Tony Daniel and Spawn kind of vibe. Like I just feel like a lot of the art that he's referencing here is that kind of stuff, right? A lot of the Spider-Man and Spawn stuff by McFarlane, but maybe by some of those other artists as well. You know, Greg Capullo and again Tony Daniel, who was doing some Spawn stuff for a while, and who I thought did a pretty good job as well. Maybe not as awesome as Capullo, but pretty cool. Here we've literally just got a picture of the city in the back as a background, and that's fine. Literally just like a photocopy. And I mean, you know, the gist of this issue is just old Spider-Man looking for Mary Jane. Here's another example where the dot pattern maybe doesn't work quite as much and just kind of muddles up the artwork, right? And it's too dark, you know, to put that dot pattern on such a dark, flat color behind it. You know, I don't know if the effect gets lost is what I'd say. At least I think it does. You know, here it's kind of nice and subtle. It's still kind of dark, but you can see it's almost like he's given the Spider-Man costume or the mask here the texture from the movies, you know, with the dot pattern. In that instance, I find it kind of works. This is a very kind of McFarlane-y hand. Thwip in some web. And there we go. We finally get to kind of the money shot of the issue, which is this splash page here, where, you know, I definitely think he heightens and turns it up to 11 in his own style when it comes to the McFarlane-isms in it. You know, the actual foreshortened and crazy pose that Spider-Man is in. Very exaggerated and cartoony. Probably pushing it even more than McFarlane, but that's fine because that works with his own style that is or can be very cartoony as well. So just kind of a cool amalgamation of, you know, the artist's original style mixed in with, you know, the Todd McFarlane isms. I've talked about when artists kind of take some Kirby isms into their art, and I really enjoy that. I enjoy the way he's doing it here. Like I said, I don't feel like he's copying McFarlane. He's just, you know, using some of his ticks, right? Like this is not a cape, but it might as well be. It might as well be Spawn's cape here. Very cool. And he does the McFarlane, you know, spaghetti webbing. Maybe not quite as crazy as McFarlane though. He doesn't, yeah. Maybe he wants to put his own spin on it, I guess. But there's definitely some inspiration from McFarlane on it. It's like the spaghetti is tighter around the strand of web than, say, what McFarlane would do. And then, like, you still get back more to, you know, a slight kind of manga influence on different characters, on this character here, right? And I mean, this comic, again, something I think is important. Really, this comic really moves. It's very dynamic. You know, the foreshortening, everything serves its purpose to make everything just, like I said, very, very much in movement. This is a good shot with the manga, you know, speed lines in the back. Miles Morales is showing up to, you know, screw everything up, I guess, for, in this case, not Peter Parker. Where's he crashing into? Oh, I guess, I see. Yeah, Miles Morales is attacking these guys here. So this is Spider-Man continuing his rampage, looking for Mary Jane, MJ. So here he crashes into J. Jonah Jameson's office. This is a pretty cool shot, landing on the desk. Got kind of a McFarlane-y kind of big profile, big 90s profile on J. Jonah Jameson. We get another one on Old Man Spider-Man on this side here, which always creates kind of a weird look in the middle of the page. But, you know, that page is very cool. I like it. That's fine. That page is very cool. Almost as if this maybe should have been on a page turn or something, where this page was here and this page was on this side once you turn it, right? I think that would, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it would just, you know, not create that weird kind of, I don't know what you call that there, Gemini effect or something. So again, Spider-Man just really out of it and looking for Mary Jane. J. Jonah Jameson really scared shitless, I would say here. And mistakenly here, what happens is, oh, I see, J. Jonah Jameson actually kills Robbie trying to shoot Spider-Man. Oh no. Again, this is kind of a Dark Knight Returns thing, so, you know, people are going to be dying, and you're going to have a cute girl sidekick kind of to Spider-Man just like Carrie Kelly is in Dark Knight Returns 1 and 2. Here's Spider-Man going to Aunt May's house. She's blind, I guess, at this point, so she doesn't see that this is basically Spider-Man in front of her, and he's asking about Mary Jane. So she says, "Now that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Are you related? It's been so long. Your voice, have we met? I came here to save her from your nephew, from Peter. He's hurting her, and he doesn't even know it. You must be misinformed. Peter was the sweetest man I knew. He's with his uncle now, in a better place. He was always such a frail boy. The darkness of this world was too much for him. Peter's dead?" So in this reality, apparently, Peter Parker is dead. So he finds out from Aunt May. I did, and then, so basically he figures out I saved her after all, and now everything will be okay. So basically he's coming to the realization, I guess, that Mary Jane is actually safe, and he doesn't have to save her or find her. And all of a sudden, Spider-Man, old man Spider-Man, gets smacked around here on this page. Again, like, I feel like there's some weird, maybe production stuff or whatever. Like, shouldn't this page be over here? And then you turn the page and the reveal of Venom. Like, I don't like, it's not a good reveal. I've already seen him. You know what I mean? It was the prior page here. Okay, so there's an ad here. So what if, again, bear with me. Let me, air out my frustrations here. What if this page, right? So you've read this page. It's over here. Yeah, so Aunt May's, yeah. So this whole sequence, this page should start over here on the left, right? Then this page should be here. Then you turn the page, this page is over here, right? Spider-Man starts getting slapped around, but you don't know who it is on this page. And then you turn the page and you get the Venom reveal. I hope that was simple enough to follow along. I think so. I mean, definitely sequentially as an editor, whatever, just as an art director or something, like that to me makes much more sense. It's not, it's not a revolutionary idea. It's the best way to have page reveals. When you're producing comic books, you're always thinking of that page reveal that, well, if I'm going to reveal something really cool, it should be on that page turn. Always. It just makes sense. It's the formatting of it, right? You're working on something people are going to read and flip through. That's just how it's going to go. That's how it's going to be presented to them. It's like TV shows, right? They always had the cliffhanger before the ads. And I'm talking old school TV shows, right? I don't know about now because most Netflix and streaming services, you can get the ads cut out, which is great. I love it. Ads annoy me in comics and, streaming. But back in the day on TV, you just had ads, right? So that was usually the time to go to the bathroom or get a snack. But you always, pretty much the format of the TV show was that you'd have some sort of cliffhanger before the ads to make sure, hopefully entice people to come back after the ads, right? Comics should at least consider that like minimally, right? Like it should always be a consideration, I think, when you're making comics in this kind of basic, book-like format, which is pretty much all comics, whether vertical, horizontal, weird sizes and stuff. Ultimately, it's a book that you flip through. So, and you get a reveal here that Venom is actually Mary Jane. So maybe I'm wrong in my reveal, because I guess if Venom was over here, right, you would see right away that Venom is actually Mary Jane. So maybe that has something to do with it as well. So I could be completely wrong, which happens, folks. Like, I'm not above admitting I can be wrong. So that was a pretty cool reveal, actually. And I was pretty happy about that when I got here. So, story-wise, it's making it a little more interesting for me and makes me want to read issue 3 much more than issue 1 made me want to read issue 2. I think I mentioned it before reviewing this comic for issue 1. I'm mostly in it for the art, but this has piqued my interest here at the end, so can't wait to see what happens in issue 3, which I've already purchased, so I'm going to read that and have that ready for a review in the coming weeks. Shouldn't take too long. I've also got Wolverine Revenge number 3, which I'll be working on and getting to you guys in a few weeks as well. That's it for the modern comic stuff on Wildcard Sunday for today. So that was Spider-Man 2 Reign. Excuse me, let me try that again. Marvel Comics Spider-Man Reign 2 Issue 2 by KAARE ANDREWS. If you have any comments about the series, questions, concerns about anything else, let me know down in the comments. I'll try to reply if I have the time, and I've been doing pretty well up to now, so you might just get a reply from me. Thank you so much to those of you who are subscribed and are still watching, still sticking around with the channel. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Those of you who are watching all the videos but are not subscribed, please do so below. It's really quick for you to do, really helps out the channel, helps get us out there to like-minded people who are into the same kind of stuff that we are, namely comic books. So thank you for watching, everyone out there. Have an awesome day.
Like, subscribe, like, subscribe.
King Comics presents Big Baby, Volume 1, Issues 1 to 13, 204 pages of story and art. King Comics also presents Star Crasher one-shot, 32 pages, cosmic sci-fi surrealist adventure. You can find these fine comics at KingComics.CA, at MaximusRex13 on Instagram, or on Facebook, MaxRex or Big Baby.